I'm bopping to this intro these days. Like, there's so much nerddom going on that, I love friggin' recording shit. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Geek Boutique Podcast. That's right, your favorite nerdy podcast is here tonight. We've got a special guest, Mr. CJPropStudio, Mr. Joshua. How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing good. How about you?
I'm doing good, Joshua. Thank you very much for joining us. Mr. Jeff, my compadre, my co-host. How are you doing today?
Oh, I am happier that, now, see, we're trying a new format here thing, guys.
Yeah.
And if you're watching, if you're listening, you're not going to, but if you're watching, we're all going to be, I'm doing good, man. There's so much cool geek stuff going on right now. It's awesome. And I'm getting to meet Josh for the first time. So that's cool. And it's going to be, it's going to be a great podcast.
Mm-hmm. Now, for those that don't know, Joshua is a foamsmith maker, cosplayer, prop maker, whatever you want to call it. Joshua does it all. So we're going to talk about a lot. We're going to talk a lot about his stuff tonight. For those that are listening to us, unfortunately, you're going to miss out on the show and tell portion where we're going to be looking at the pictures. So, maybe a little bit of an incentive to go check us out on YouTube, because that's right, this podcast is live on YouTube every week at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. If you are watching us live on YouTube, thank you so much for being here. I know our faithfuls are already in the chat. What's going on, everybody? Noah's there. Steve's there. Producer Jen is there. Guys, thank you very much. If you're watching us after the fact, leave a like. Click that subscribe button. It lets us know that you like to watch these things, and it really, really helps grow the channel. I'm going to talk a little bit about some nerdy stuff tonight. I mean, we've got a new show. Jeff, should we take a couple seconds and talk about our new show?
I think we should. Just a real quick little, hey, this is the thing we're doing. So, agreed. Go.
Do you want to introduce what we're doing?
We are huge fans of geek and nerd shows, and we end up talking about it on the podcast, which kind of takes away time from having really cool guests like Joshua and stuff. So we've started a show called The After Show. Initially, it was just going to be called After Trek, because we were only going to be doing Trek, but then we were like, wait a minute, there's so much cool shit on. Let's just call it The After Show. By the way, none of this is my idea. All of this is at the behest of JS. He is the genius. He is the heart and soul of the Geeks & Co. And so, every week, now twice a week, the day after it airs, we are essentially talking about that week's Star Trek, Picard, and The Mandalorian. So tune in, go to the Geeks & Co. YouTube channel. Yes, shorter format. At most, I think we're on there for between 15 and 20 minutes, so way shorter than the podcast. You can listen to us at work, get our feelings on that week's episodes. Just understand, obviously, we're going to be giving spoilers. So we do wait a day. We record it the day it comes out. Our friend Megan, part of the Geeks & Co., she posts it the next day. The After Show on the Geeks & Co. channel. Go check that out. You can hear us ramble about our two favorite shows, I assume, on TV right now, The Mandalorian and Star Trek Picard. So
Megan's in a bang-up editing job, by the way.
Man, let me tell you.
Yeah, bang-up editing job, and it's been nice to be able to focus, I'm not going to lie, on making the content and coming up with thumbnails and doing that type of stuff. Well, while she's able to edit it all and make it all work, listen, I can't tell you, Megan, how much of a help you are to everything that we do right now. So, come and check out Megan at Toronto Comic Con. Come and say hi. Where do we even start, Joshua? I kind of want to. I want to get to talking about how you first of all got even into making stuff. Like, does it start as I want to make a prop? Did it start as I'm a fan of Halloween? Like, what's your story behind how you started making stuff?
So basically, throughout my whole entire childhood, for my whole entire life, I've been a builder. Like, when I was a kid, instead of Legos, like those old toys called Kinects, they're a little bit more advanced versions, the smaller pieces, more intricate. I worked with those, like different advanced sets, and my parents bought me pretty much almost every advanced set out there, and I would build it in one day, within the same day. And they couldn't find anything like even more like harder to do. So then later on, when I got towards my teenage years, I think it was in 2009, I watched Iron Man for the first time. And when I saw the Mark III, the fully painted, and when I saw that, I'm like, I want it. I don't care if it's CGI or whatever. I want it. So I actually went on Google and I typed in, how can I get an Iron Man suit? And I found an article online, which is probably buried in the internet by now. But it's an article of a guy who made his own replica version of the Mark III.
Like this is early on too, right? This is like
Yes.
2008.
Yeah, 2008, 2009. And when I saw the article and I read it, and I'm like, you know what? If that guy can do it, I can do it too. And so that's when I started to learn. I just did a lot of research, book work. Practically the first 3 years of getting into the community of cosplay, I just was just reading and just finding all the materials I could find throughout the computer. And then 2013 hit, and that's when I started to do more hands-on stuff. So I started small by doing helmets first, so I can learn the techniques and different materials, so I don't waste a lot of money either. And also at the end of it, I have something to wear, And then later on, I think
your first piece of helmet, your first intricate piece, was that?
Oh yeah, my very first helmet I ever piece was a helmet in 2013. It was a paper mache silver Daft Punk helmet. It was the crappiest thing in the world, but you know what? Back then I was happy and proud of it. And like I didn't know how to tint visors or make a visor, so I took a cheese puff plastic bucket.
Mm-hmm.
And I cut the middle section out. That was the smoothest part. And I didn't know how to tint plastic, so I watered down black acrylic paint and tried to lightly dabble on it to try to make it tinted, but yet try to make it see-through. I was walking around New York Comic Con in 2013 practically blindfolded.
I feel like almost everybody that's ever made a helmet has gone through that process of wanting to tint a visor with paint and being like, oh, fuck. I can't see anything.
Yeah.
Well, I think you were too. Didn't JS? You were talking about with your Iron Man helmet where you put the light up eyes essentially, and as soon as you turn them on, you can't see shit.
Yeah, you can't see anything the minute they turn on.
Yeah, this is all cosplay life suffering that we've all had to. I know whenever I do a zombie, I put in whiteout contacts, and again, everything is just like a haze of nothing, and you just can't see. And you need a handler at that point. I'm assuming, Josh, with all your builds and stuff, you've got someone that's accompanying you most of the time to kind of make sure that you're not bumping into people or running people over or just falling all over or whatever.
Oh yeah, like when it comes to bumping into people, that's gonna happen no matter what at a con, because a con is elbow to elbow. You're gonna bump into anyone anyway. But getting into the cosplay and just being helped to get to navigate through the con and whatnot and make sure I'm okay. I have a few friends that help me out, and they're awesome. And especially like if I go to cons by myself, especially because when I went to this past weekend or two, I went to Katsucon in Maryland, and I only went by myself, but I met up with a couple of friends that helped me down there to get in the suit, walked around, and I'm like, well, if you're still not in the room, give me a room key, and then I'll just get into the room. And they're like, how are you going to get in with that armor on? I'm like, if I can get one piece off, I can get the rest of it off. And also I'll just put it in my shoe. I don't have any other pocket.
Joshua, you're from the U.S.
Yes.
So you go to I'm assuming you've been to the big cons, right? I mean, you're talking about Katsucon. Have you been to the other big ones like SDCC, Dragon Con, so on and so forth?
No, I never been to San Diego Comic Con yet. Maybe 1 year, like I think around last year, around the summertime, maybe. Well, not the summertime, probably around fall. They had tickets already released for this year, and it sold out within 5 minutes.
Yeah, they sell out real quick. They're apparently very hard to get.
Oh, they're very hard to get. And maybe one day. I'm not holding my breath for it, but maybe one day. Dragon Con is also on the list too. I would love to attend that one. One of my friends actually did last year, and he's going back this year. So so it was very enjoyable. I've been to New York Comic Con. New York Comic Con is my main one since I live in Jersey. So going from my house to Manhattan was probably like maybe an hour, a little bit over, depending on traffic. So it's not that bad. And then I went to Katsucon too, but I also do smaller cons here and there.
Now, there's got to be some challenges as far as those really, really big armor builds, as far as travel goes. Like, how well could, like, getting to a San Diego or something, like if you got to get on a plane, like what are you going to do when you've got these giant, huge, we're going to be showing some pictures of your, yeah, dude, that doesn't fit in your kitchen. Like you can't, like, how does that travel? Like, how do you get that from where you are to where you're going?
Well, that one was from 2019. That was actually the upgraded version of the original one. And that one, I actually upgraded practically the whole entire thing within a week and a half before the convention that I went to compete. And that one, at the time, I filled up two 55-gallon storage bins, and I chucked it in my truck, and then I just went to Philadelphia for that one.
Man alive.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
You've got a truck, like a pickup truck?
Yeah, I have a Ford Expedition.
Yeah,
and
okay.
So it's big. It's big for all these transports. Like back at Katsucon that I mentioned before, I brought my Merciless build and my Atrocitus build, and that took up the whole entire space of my truck. Like both of them.
You do Atrocitus?
Yes.
Oh my God, are you serious right now?
Can you please show me his I'm a massive Green Lantern nerd. Like Green Lantern's my all-time favorite superhero. So I didn't know you did Atrocitus. That's amazing.
His Atrocitus is bonkers.
That's wild.
It's bonkers.
That's
It's
awesome.
okay. So I wasn't wanting to get into all the pictures right away.
Sorry.
but yeah,
That never mind.
That's
never mind.
okay.
Fine,
bring it
fine,
up so
fine,
that people can
fine.
see it, because it's
Wild. Holy
yeah,
shit.
it's dope.
That's insanity.
Thank you.
So,
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
no, go ahead.
Oh yeah, no. I was just gonna say, like, yeah, that was literally last year, a few months ago, practically at New York Comic Con, and I competed that Saturday as Atrocitus, and also that picture you see, that was my first cos test wearing that. I never did a cos test before that.
How did it hold up?
It held up pretty well. Like
Yeah.
all the electronics worked, it fit pretty well, because the theory is that once you make the bases and you make sure it's all situated and it fits correct, once you add all the detail on top of it, it should work. It should be just fine. So I was just basing it off of that, because that build, that took me a month and a half to build.
What?
A lot of people were like, "What the hell? Like, seriously?" I'm like, "Yeah." I started the build back in mid-August, and then I finished it like the early morning of that day.
So
I
like
quit.
6 weeks.
I quit cosplay. Guys, it's been fun, everybody. I've enjoyed my time in cosplay, but I'm all done. It would take me longer to buy that and have it shipped to my house. What do you mean you built that in a month and a half? That's crazy.
Yeah, like once I got the email stating that I got into the competition, the championships at New York Comic Con, it lit a fire under my ass.
Clearly.
So, yeah.
Hold on. Do you have a job? Like, do you have a day job?
I used to work. Well, currently, no. I'm doing this full time currently.
Gotcha.
But I used to work as management at a grocery store.
Gotcha. Okay. Because I'm like, how in the balls did you dedicate enough time to do that in such a short period of time? There's just no way.
Like, look at that.
Oh, you've even got is the lantern 3D printed?
Yeah, actually, it's right here.
Dude, man, I can only get so erect. Like, don't be hitting me with Green Lantern stuff, man. I am a super freak when it comes to Green Lantern, especially all of everything Jeff Johns for that entire run was just so amazingly, insanely good. So yeah, that's crazy, bro.
Yeah, that one, actually, Rain River Images. That's a good friend of mine. He's actually my neighbor, and he set up his station over there at the Javits Center, and he takes wonderful pictures. He takes most of my pictures. And
Freak is just saying, is that going to be a shirt, Jeff? Oh, it might be, man. It's a lot. Anything to replace the Justice for Biff shirt, that's fine.
Noah's saying, I feel like once you figure out a system to keep everything together, you can use that system repeatedly with confidence. It will work. I mean,
yes.
Joshua, I'll let you answer that. But from my side, I mean, it really depends, right? Every build is so different.
Yeah. Like every build, it's just because every build has a different shape. So
Mhm.
some builds have a different shape for bases and whatnot. So you kind of you can still use the same system within each build, but not every build is gonna be shaped the same.
Sorry, I'm laughing at Jamie in the
Just
chat.
Jamie is making inappropriate comments in the
That's
chat.
right.
So,
Yeah,
well, they're not
I
inappropriate.
said something
Jeff made the
inappropriate.
inappropriate
It's
comment,
always my
and
fault. I
Jamie is
apologize
already
for
trying to make a T-shirt out of
the
it.
family's watching. I apologize. That was inappropriate, but yeah, you don't get to see a lot of Green Lantern stuff in the first place, but at that craftsmanship level, that's absolutely bonkers.
Thank you. Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
well done.
that one is based from the Injustice 2 video game.
Right.
Because I actually pre-ordered that game back then, like in 2016, and then I
Yeah.
played the story mode, everything. And when I saw Atrocitus, I'm like, wow, we kind of share almost the same physique in a sense. Because when I do my cosplays, I kind of base my cosplays based off of my physique. So if I have a similar physique towards a character, and I know I'm able to build him, then I can portray the character more.
Right.
Yeah, and but with Atrocitus in general, I'm very proud of it. It's like one of my most advanced ones I've done so far. It topped Merciless because every time I do a cosplay, I try to go above each one, and that one really took the cake. And like that one, I learned new techniques. Like there's 3 different types of textures on that suit. There's lights, mainly in the front and on the thighs, and also in the hip area. There's 5 smoke machines.
I was just
gonna
say you had smoke coming out of the emblem there. That's awesome.
So don't cons usually frown upon that?
Oh, I got a story and a half about what happened at KatsuCon with that.
Is that a Sylvanas that's with you? That's wild.
Yeah, that's my friend Cosplay Katie on Instagram. She's very cool.
Yeah. That's a great Sylvanas. Well done.
Yeah, we were actually talking because we were building our cosplays at the same exact time. So I was checking up on her, she was checking up on me, so we kept tabs on each other.
Your mom's giving you some mad love in the chat there.
I love you too, Ma.
Yeah. She's very proud of you, Josh. She's here, and she's here, and that's okay because she's cool. That's what Josh's mom is saying. So, Marcia, we're gonna take your word for it.
Jamie says here, how do you even do better? Talon isn't strong enough for it. It's funny, Jamie, you would say that. Every time I see Josh post something new, it's always like, holy shit, like, what Kiss got fucked, man? Like how is he gonna top this? And then he comes out with something else. It's just crazier every time.
Yeah, like this one, I have a pic because on my wall right here above my computer, I call it the cosplan wall, and so I print out pictures of cosplays that I want to do, and then I'll paste them on the wall. So, and I put it in order of which ones I want to do next. So this one that I'm doing right now that I already started, but I had to pause because of commissions and stuff, but I'm starting back up soon. But it is Savitar. From season 3 of The Flash.
Well, you already have a Savitar, don't you?
No. This was the pictures that you've seen. Though that's my current build.
Is it really?
Yeah.
So you're advanced then. I mean, you're pretty much done.
I have the base, most of the base armor done. It's actually in the corner right behind that.
There it is right there.
That picture is actually from the studio lot.
Oh, so, I see.
Yeah.
So that's a reference picture that you're using for your suit.
Yeah. So a good thing about my reference pictures is that I actually found the company that actually built the suit, and they actually had a portfolio of the shows and movies that they worked on, and then they had the portfolio for The Flash, and it had a good amount of the behind the scenes pictures. So I was able to see more details, how it looks, what they did, and also what the paint actually looked up front, because the paint in person,
but it looks like
because in the show the camera doles it out, but when you actually see the actual piece, there's a lot more detail to it, because like in the actual piece there's like micro specks of green to simulate he's running and grab pieces of grass hit the armor and then left the green speckles on it. And Same thing with browns, blacks, and such. And I actually have the helmet right here. So if you guys want to see it,
yes, absolutely.
That's why we're here, bro. That's why we bought a ticket. Let's go.
Hell yeah! So this is the helmet for Savitar.
Wow. Okay, so hang on a second. So that's 3D printed. That's not foam.
No, yes, this is 3D printed.
Did you model that?
No. So I got the file from the site called Do3D, and Do3D, and I bought it a long time ago, but I just didn't really like how they did it. Like the front, like it looked great, the front portion, but I didn't like how they connect. They try to connect in the back. They try to make it like a clamshell, like for a Power Ranger helmet, but it didn't align at all. So I took the two models and I put it through Mesh Mixer, and I just edited the crap out of it until I got up to this, and this is more screen accurate to the show. And because in the show, in the production company actually made it, they actually also 3D printed the helmet in one piece. So this is all printed in one piece.
Oh yeah, okay. Okay,
man, that's
so Josh. Clearly,
wow.
So help me out as far as like your substrates and such go. So you're obviously working with foam. You're clearly doing some 3D printing. You're obviously working with. Is it just straight up LED lighting, or do you get into like Arduino and like electronics of that level as well? Like, what format do you typically kind of dabble in as far as that goes?
Well, for LED wise, right now they're just straight up RGB plug-in lights.
Yep.
Because my builds have been kind of somewhat rushed in a sense, so I don't have time to really learn how to do the NeoPixels and stuff like that. But I want to do that. Don't get me wrong.
For sure.
I would love to learn. But that'll come eventually. But right now, like the lights that I have and I use, they're great for the cosplays, especially for Atrocitus. Those LEDs you see in the suit, that one
I'm guessing that's Mom.
There's Mom.
There she is. Mom making a quick guest appearance.
There's Mom. Hi. I'm the cool mom.
You're the cool mom.
I'm in leave. I love you.
I love you too.
Adorable.
So what was I saying? Oh yeah, LEDs. With the LEDs, there are 5-foot strips I found on Amazon that have about 500 LED bulbs. So it all looks cohesive and there's no spaces in between.
Right. And
it kind of resembles like neon light almost. But it like they're really bright too, because especially in Atrocitus, and that day on Saturday, we were actually going to the elevator to go down for prejudging, and the area where it was, there was no lights. The Jazz Center forgot to turn on the lights, and that.
So you probably lit up the friggin' place.
Oh my god, it looked like a red room. And so my friends were just taking videos and pictures, and it was sick. Like you saw the smoke actually light up red with everything. And
so what's the story with the smoke at Ketsucon? Sorry, we veered right off about that, and we still haven't heard.
Yeah. So the smoke at Katsu, what happened was it was Saturday around 3:00. I got into the suit. I walked down to the gazebo area, which is about the 3rd floor, above the lobby area. I get into the gazebo area. I walk through it. And then on the other side, there's the elevator section, which the ceiling is a little bit more closer towards the floor. And people were stopping me for pictures and videos, obviously. And so what happened was that because my smoke machines were going off, but actually I have a momentary switch in my hand, in my glove, and I trigger it. I trigger it manually, so I don't have a wire going down my arm. It's all wireless. But something happened to my circuit, and it just couldn't stop producing smoke. It just kept going and going and going. And so that area that I was in, I hotboxed that area by accident. And then all of a sudden,
now now you piqued JS. You had JS's curiosity, but now you have his attention.
Yeah. And so what
drop a little butt in there.
Yes.
Turn it into a party.
But say people were asking me for a toke from my shoulder. I'm like, yeah, go for it. Go for it.
Awesome.
Yeah, and so what happened next was I got a tap on my left shoulder, and that was hotel security.
Yeah.
Hotel security
I'll
and management.
Yeah.
And he had 2 security guards with him, and they were like, sir, you have to turn off your smoke machines that you just triggered.
I can't.
I'm like, you just triggered the smoke detectors. And I'm just like, I'm not being a dick. I'm not trying to do it on purpose. It's literally an accident and I can't stop it. I told him like, hey, let's go outside. No, well, not to fight. That sounds like I'm about to fight, but let's go
outside. Let me take the thing off. And
yeah, I'm like, let's go outside. If you don't mind helping me get in, parts off so I can access the electronics, and then I can unplug everything. And so we went outside. They went to a private area outside, which was nice around the courtyard area. And so I told him, I'm like, okay, take the forearms off. I took the bicep off. I'm like, okay, help me with the chest. So they helped me with that. And I unplugged all the smoke machines. And the hotel manager was like, you can keep the lights on, by the way. I'm like, I'm planning on it.
Yeah, I wasn't planning on turning the lights off, bud. Yeah.
Let's say, like, I'm planning on it. That's why I got dressed this late. So when the sun goes down, I'm more prominent.
Yeah.
So they were cool about it. I was like, well, can you help me put it back on? They were like, yeah, sure. So they helped me. I guided them on what to do, and they did a good job, and they were very hospitable. So
nice.
That was a good experience, at least, because that actually never happened to me before.
Yeah, you're lucky you didn't get kicked out, because I've heard stories of people getting kicked out for having smoke machines and stuff at cons.
Yeah, and then a funny thing, I met a cop that was working that weekend, and ironically, he was also from Jersey, and so we were just chit chatting, talking, and then that night after I got out the suit, I just went in my casual clothes. He was like, "Oh yeah, by the way, we got a text about you in our group chat." I'm like, "What?" And so he showed me it. It was a picture, and then whoever sent it was like, "This guy's smoking, like literally smoking."
Brutal.
And then the next one,
jokes.
yeah. And then the next one was like, "Well, tell him to turn it off, take it off, or get out." So good thing hotel management got to me first.
Yeah, no
I
kidding.
should say so.
Smoke machines, you incorporate lights, 3D printing. Was foam kind of like the gateway for you, Josh? Did you start out with foam and do a lot of work and then start to incorporate other things on top of that?
For a suit in general?
It's just your cosplay stuff in general, or did you dive feet first into everything at once, or was it more of like a progression for you?
It was more of a progression. So I started with my builds in general. I started with everything with foam.
Yeah, that seems to be the gateway drug, right? As far as upgrading to other stuff goes. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And then when I got my first 3D printer, I was like, okay, I can actually start 3D printing my helmets. And so that actually eliminates a part that I don't have to worry about building out of foam.
Right.
And then later on, I upgraded my printer. I got a new one, which I have the CR10 Max now. They actually don't even make them anymore. They replaced them with a different model, whatever. But it's actually right here. That actually printed this whole entire helmet at once.
The CR10 Max is the bigger one, isn't it?
Yeah, actually, I'll pan my camera. It's like right there.
Yeah, nice. It looks a little bit like mine, but it's even bigger. Yeah.
Yeah, and they don't make them anymore, but it's a good reliable printer. This print for Savitar took 9 days consecutively.
Wow.
So
you don't want to print like that to fail. I can tell you that.
Oh
when
no!
You're on day 8.5 and it crashes, and you're like,
Yeah, I was checking up on it, making sure I always had filament, and it went well. I was happy. Like, this was the second attempt, actually. The first attempt I have right here, and it is a lot smaller. Like, I couldn't fit it over my head. So This was the second attempt. But yeah, so I started with foam first, and then I got into 3D printing, and then from 3D printing, I got more into electronics. Because also I also have fans in my helmets as well for ventilation, and also I remember when you mentioned about the LED eyes you were talking about for helmets. I actually use those for my merciless build. I have the red ones, and I have two blower fans towards the back that push air forward, so it actually defogs the lenses.
Nice.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, because
can you see through the red ones when they're lit up? Because through the regular white ones, you can't see shit.
Oh, I built something for a friend, and I use the regular white ones, and yeah, they are too bright. But the red ones are a lot better. You can see through them better in a well lit room, but obviously when it gets darker, it gets really harder to.
Well, that's the thing, right? With the white ones, I mean, if it's when you're outside, it's fine. You can't even tell that they're lit. But the minute you go inside the house, you can't see anything at all, right?
So, oh yeah, of course. And also at New York Comic Con, there was a guy who also because also my team and we run the cosplay repair booth at New York Comic Con.
Oh, nice.
And, yeah, so we help cosplayers throughout the whole entire weekend. It's a 4-day con, and it's awesome to do and meet. It also helps me meet new people and spread our name around. And there was a guy who had like a Red Hood mask, and he had these LED lenses, the red ones, and he didn't have what was it? He just didn't install them in time, so he installed them at our booth. And he gave us a tip, and I'm going to say it to you guys too, and whoever's watching. He put, with the red ones specifically, he took a blue lighting gel for for photography, backlighting, and he put some over the lenses inside the helmet, and it negates the brightness, and it looks like it feels like you're looking through sunglasses.
Oh. Interesting, and you can't see that because it's on the inside. So from the outside, you can't tell there's something there.
And from the outside, you just see the LED.
Really?
So that could be a next upgrade or
I have some of that. Yeah, I'm gonna try.
Nice.
I have some of that. I'm gonna try that. Actually, I'm gonna be wearing my Red Hood helmet in a couple of weeks. I don't know how much I'll be wearing it, but I'm gonna try to putting some of that in behind my lenses, see if it makes a difference.
Yeah,
because when I'm wearing it, like at the con, I mean, I'm blind, right? So.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah. Guys, this week we asked people on Instagram if they had questions for Joshua, and we actually got a ton of questions. Joshua has a lot of love from a lot of people because questions were coming in fast and furious. Jen has queued up one now. Maybe we can go through a couple questions, and Joshua, you can answer them. What's been your favorite project you produced, or / hardest project? To me, it would be, or is it your hardest project? Because your hardest project is not necessarily your favorite, but.
So my favorite project in general from over the years is Merciless. That was my favorite one because that one I actually took my time with that one because that's what the year we were coming back from COVID in 2021, and that one took me 5.5 months because I took my time and I had the time to do it. So, and it came out great. It still holds up till this day. It's 2 years old now. And that was from 2 years ago. And the hardest one was Atrocitus because I built that one within a month and a half. I learned new techniques in a shorter period of time that someone couldn't really usually learn something new in that time frame. And I learned how to do different texture work. I learned how to do different methods to make a joint seamless or blend together well with a different range of motion for armor. And also I learned how to work with silicone for the very first time to make the hands.
Oh, the hands are actual silicone. Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. So with those, because usually with my builds they're mainly armor, so you usually do armor gauntlets and stuff like that. This is an organic based character, so he's not gonna wear armor. He's gonna have his hands exposed, especially in the video game. So I actually I had the original sculpt back here of I think it's the left hand, the right hand. And so this is the original sculpt for the right hand, for Atrocitus.
Wow.
And, yeah, so
Wow.
I 3D printed the armature, and then I took air dry clay from Hobby Lobby, and then I just sculpted everything in, and then I just started doing the mold work, and then cast it out of dragon skin silicone.
Man alive.
So
Damn.
yeah, so I learned new techniques, and also I learned what to do and what not to do, so I can do a better job next time. But that was rushed in a sense. So, but yeah, overall with that question, Atrocitus was the hardest, but my favorite was Merciless.
Yeah, if I can jive in here, your Atrocitus is my favorite cosplay of yours. It's unbelievable to me. Like when you started showing pictures of that, that just blew my mind instantly. There's another cosplay that I want to talk about. And I know you're going to want to talk about it as well, but we've got another question here. How do you keep from overheating in the big builds? I mean, you talked about some fans in your helmets, but there's got to be other things because that's a lot of foam you're wearing.
So a lot of people actually ask me that at cons. They're like, "Are you hot in there? Like, are you okay?" So when I wear an ice cooling vest underneath my suits. So it's actually on my Instagram account. There's actually like those highlight bubbles you have on the Instagram, just showing past stories that make them public. So I have one called Product Recommend, and that one is all products that I recommend, that I personally use, and I recommend other people to try. And so I have the ice vest on there, and also in my suits, the shoes, they're just Crocs.
My buddy Ian would love that. You wear Crocs in your outfits. That's amazing.
They're just Crocs. They're off-branded Crocs. They have a bunch of holes in them for better ventilation, and they're comfortable. So I don't, and also they're slip-on, so I don't have to worry about lacing and anything. Just easy. Put my foot in, and we're done. But for cooling wise, yeah, I usually put fans in my helmets. But under the suit in general, I wear an ice vest underneath.
Can we change the subject for a little bit? I want to come back to the cosplay stuff, but
yeah, sure.
For those that weren't with us in the pre-show earlier, you probably don't know that although Joshua grew up with Star Wars, hasn't watched a single episode of The Mandalorian until today. And he decided to jump in just because we were going to talk about it. He watched episode 1 of season 3 of The Mandalorian. Now, Joshua, without spoiling anything for the people that may have not watched the episode because it just came out yesterday, what did you think of, what was your first impression of The Mandalorian? Because, again, you've never seen it before, so.
Yeah, so I enjoyed it. Actually, like I did enjoy like how the episode went through and what the progression was, and especially also seeing the different armors of the Mandalorians and stuff like that. It was nice to see, and also gave me inspiration on also to binge watch the rest of season 1 and 2, and also possibly eventually, I don't know when, but possibly make my own set of Mandalorian armor.
Now, just like an original thought you're having, or are you going to try to model it after any specific armor build?
I saw the heavy infantry armor.
Yep.
Has Vizsla
with the Gatling gun.
Yeah, and when I saw that one, his action and everything, I was like, okay, I'm probably gonna do that one when I get to that time.
So the cool part about that is that's Jon Favreau in that armor as well, who's the guy
that
created this show and has kind of shepherded this new...
Is it still him though?
It is still him. Yeah.
Oh,
and
wow.
He voiced that character's descendant on the Clone Wars.
Oh, wow.
He did, yeah. So that's all Favreau. That's why he's also like a bigger guy that you see him on the screen, because Favreau himself is a bigger dude, right?
Yeah,
so,
he's a big guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, big
Props
heavy
to him.
armor. Yeah, he's amazing.
You picked a good one, my friend. You picked a good one. That's and I like his armor look too. Like he's got a very uniquely shaped helmet and
I like the shape of the helmet. I like the
Yeah,
color scheme, especially because there is battle damage as well.
yeah.
And also the weapon he uses.
That Gatling gun is dope.
Oh my
Yeah,
god!
dude.
Especially with this,
Yeah.
and also it fits more towards my size as well. So
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
yeah, and I've seen a bunch of people have been doing it, and especially doing 3D printing mainly on that one. So I may give it a shot on doing a full 3D printed suit.
Yeah,
We'll
we've
see.
got a friend of the podcast that's going to be joining us. I think next week that Reed's going to be here?
Mm-hmm.
So Reed's Props Plus, most of his stuff is 3D printed, and he's got a Mando that's, I mean, it's one of the best Mandalorians I've ever seen. Like it looks like he looks like
He's
Din Djarin.
got a
Looks like he
great
walked off the
Mando,
set.
and he has a
Yeah.
great Boba.
He has a great, Dad bod Boba Fett, right? He's got the current iteration of Boba with the black and everything else. But
it looks
and I think he
amazing.
exclusively, I think almost everything on that is all 3D printed. I don't think he's got any foam work on his Mandalorian. So
Yeah.
do it. We're encouraging this. Do it.
Yeah,
it,
100%.
do it.
I
Yeah.
mean,
Especially Paz Vizsla, because you're not going to see
Yeah.
any other. I've never seen another one of those. Like I see a million Mandalorians and Boba Fett's, but I haven't seen any Paz Vizslas. That
well,
would
I
be-
feel like usually if you're going to see cosplayers, you're usually going to see, like you said, Boba or Mando.
Yep.
Those are the two main ones you're going to see, or you're going to see a lot of custom Mandos. Right? People that just make their own Mandos.
right.
That
Yeah,
aren't,
put their own armor together.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, like the Mercs, right?
Yeah.
They
Mandalorian
are all
Mercs.
their own.
Yeah, exactly.
But otherwise, you see some Bo-Katan now, and you see some Sabine Wrens.
Yep.
But you don't see a lot of actual canon characters.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good one to do.
Yeah, like with what comes to cosplay for me, because I don't like doing the typical generic ones that everyone picks up on, like the Mark 85, the Mando or Boba Fett. Like I like to do more of the side characters or the characters that haven't been getting that much love. So like that's why I've done Merciless. I've only seen 3 other people do that. Atrocitus. I never seen really anyone do a Injustice 2 variant of him, so I wanted to give it its justice. So when I saw heavy infantry, I'm like, and also I do Google research, and I typed it in heavy infantry cosplay and didn't even see one. So it'll be cool to actually do it and show it within the community.
Yeah, I mean the costumes in that show.
Oh yeah, outstanding.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
There's so much. I mean, and we're gonna see a lot this year again with season 3 coming out now. You're gonna see a lot of cosplays coming out of the Mandalorian. 100%. I don't want to spoil too much my thoughts or a lot of the episode because people may have not watched it. If you want to hear our spoiler thoughts of the episode, make sure you go check out our after show is what it's actually called. It's out now. Right here on YouTube. Go check it out.
Yep.
Gets I don't want to say heated, but it gets we get pretty excited.
We do.
We get pretty excited.
Yeah,
I mean, so when we start talking about these shows, we
get a little excitable. Yeah, that's for sure. But I mean, thankfully, both Mando and Picard, the ones that we cover on the after show, are shows that we largely agree on the quality of. It's not like we were talking like Discovery versus DS9 or anything like that.
I would be able to do an after show with you about Discovery.
Spicy.
Yeah.
Hey, the final season. The final season comes out in
after show.
2024. We'll do an after show for Discovery. That's gonna be
that's gonna be the spicy.
Yeah, that'll be heated.
Spicy content. Are you in a Trek at all?
I'm not really a Trekkie, to be honest with you.
Okay, so we're losing connection here, Joshua. I don't know what's going on here. Boot him. No.
I was wondering, and I don't know if producer Jen can bring back some of the Merciless pictures here because I think we only saw one. I don't know the character very well.
What is Merciless from? I don't know what that character
So
is.
Merciless is from the Dark Knight Metal, what was it called?
So yeah, I'll do a quick breakdown of the character and the backstory. So Merciless is from a comic book series called DC's Dark Knight's Death Metal.
Death Metal, yeah. Familiar.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, written by what the hell is his name? Man, I forgot his name to be honest with you. It's Greg Capullo and something Snyder. It's not Zack Snyder. It's
Scott.
something. It's a
Scott
different
Snyder.
type of Scott Snyder. Yeah, there you
Yes,
go.
sir. Yeah.
Yeah. So we actually met them 2 years ago at New York Comic Con. We actually took pictures with them, had an interview, so that was cool.
Very
but
cool.
both Merciless.
Yeah, they worked on the main Batman title for years, and we're just crushing it. So
the artwork and everything is sick.
Yeah.
We have the Batman Who Laughs right there, and then a couple of friends doing Red Hoods. But yeah, so with Merciless, basically, Merciless is from the dark multiverse underneath the regular multiverse from Earth -12.
Right.
And so with that storyline is that Batman and Wonder Woman were fighting against Ares, the god of war. He was pretty much going to conquer the world and also Mount Olympus. And he created a helmet that once he puts on, it'll increase his power by tenfold. So he'll get a big power boost. And so Wonder Woman went first to go fight him, and Ares took her down and quote unquote killed her. And so Batman, being Batman, gets pissed off and then takes down Ares, and he puts on the helmet thinking he could stop war, he can alter a bunch of stuff. But whoever wears the helmet, their mind gets corrupted. But Batman thought he was strong enough to go past that. So when he puts it on, that's when the armor comes out and he becomes the Merciless. And also plot twist is that Ares never killed Wonder Woman. Bruce killed Wonder Woman because she tried to take off the helmet.
Interesting. And why the Wonder Woman logo on the chest? Because I don't believe he has that in the comics. He has the bat symbol in the comics, doesn't he?
No, he has the bat symbol with the Wonder Woman logo inside.
Okay.
Yeah, the one I did was also based off the Todd McFarlane action figure.
I see.
Yeah, I actually have it in the back over there. I believe the reason why he has the Wonder Woman logo is since Ares is from the Wonder Woman universe of DC, and I'm not really sure because I think it's just a mixture of Ares and Batman, and Ares was within the Wonder Woman universe, so that's why he got the Wonder Woman logo. So
now, is that helmet 3D printed, Josh, or is that foam?
That is 3D printed, but has foam details on it.
I got you. Okay.
Yeah, because
can we talk about that for a minute here? Because that's pretty dope. I mean,
that helmet is everything. Like that helmet's crazy.
Yeah,
like everything else on it is dope, but that helmet is like
the Batwing antlers are just
crazy town.
Yeah, is that all? Is that all part of the 3D model as well, or did you make that after the fact and add that onto the helmet?
No, that's all within the model. That was all.
Wow.
That's all modeled in. I commissioned a modeler that I've been using for years, and he unfortunately doesn't do it anymore. But at the time, I commissioned him saying, "Hey, can you model this for me?" I took pictures from the action figure and sent it to him. And I'm like, "How much?" He's like, "This much." I'm like, "Okay." Sent the money to him, and then literally within the next day, he sends me the file.
Wow.
Holy crap, really?
So yeah, he worked really fast with it.
He worked mercilessly on it. You're welcome.
And then also the sword is also 3D printed as well.
Nice.
He also modeled it as well for me. And like I said, it took him like 2 days to do that one too.
Nice.
Before Katsucon, I actually worked on my 2.0 version of the helmet, and I don't think I put it on the file, the folder for the stream, unfortunately. But I do have it on my phone right here, and this is the 2.0 version of the helmet. So there's a lot more detail in it.
Crazy.
Yeah, it's fully 3D printed. There's no foam details or anything.
Yeah. It's all
And
3D. Okay.
yeah, it's all 3D printed.
That looks like it's pretty much done at this point. Like it's
Yeah,
fully
yeah.
painted and everything.
Oh yeah, it's fully painted. I did all the airbrushing. That was like 2 weeks ago, and then I put all the electronics in the next day after I did all the airbrushing. So the LED eyes and the fans, and that one, I hired a different modeler since the modeler that did the original file doesn't do it anymore. I had to find another modeler to add on more stuff for me, and he did a good job. And
I'll say shit.
yeah, and in this version of the helmet, I because the first version that you've seen in the pictures, the ears were actually permanently on the helmet, so that's all
Right.
one piece.
Right.
This version, I want to be more compacted for traveling, so
Yep.
I made it.
So you could take the ears off.
Yeah, I made them detachable with all thread rod and some washers and bolts and nuts.
So that one, the original one, it's all of a piece?
It's all one piece, yes.
So hold on. So if that Savitar helmet took 9 days to print, how fucking long did that take to print? 3 months?
Okay.
What are you talking about? That's
No,
crazy.
no, no. Okay, so that one, the merciless one is all 3 pieces: the helmet, and then the 2 ears, and then with that one, I plastic welded together, and then I did all the cleanup work.
No,
but yeah, but with this new one, I wanted to be better for travel. So
no, that makes sense.
You want to make so when you're printing it, it's printed in multi pieces, but then it's all glued together. Yeah. This new version, the antlers or ears or whatever you want to call them, are going to actually be removable. So when you pack your helmet, you can pack your helmet and not break them, basically.
Yeah, and I won't have the risk of possibly when I'm walking with the car, because I actually have an actual cart that I put all my stuff in, a wagon, so I can actually push everything. And so this version, I don't have to worry about, like, God forbid if it falls off the boxes, it lands on the floor, then I'm screwed, and so I don't have to worry about that, which is a nice feeling.
Got Jordan in the chat. What's up, Jordan? It says the helmet's a work of art. It really is.
Thank you. I'm
friggin' gorgeous.
Thank you.
Mom says she loves this character.
Yeah, it's her favorite character. Yeah, that and my shredder. Yeah.
I missed a lot of comments while we were chatting here. I'm just seeing all of these now. Freakish is saying heavy bendo. Yeah, I mean, I agree. I want to see that. What are your plans as far as next builds? Are there any other big builds other than Savitar that you're working on right now, or is that your main thing? I mean, I know you do a lot of client work. I'm not sure if you can talk about that.
I'm pretty sure I could talk about it. Like there was commission work that I already finished, and and like my last 3 commissions I did, it was actually for the same guy.
Cool.
He commissioned me 3 pieces, 3 props at the same time, and I shipped it out to him at the same time. So I basically worked on 3 props at once and then shipped it to him. It was all from the anime called One Piece, and it's a sword, a club of spikes, and then Blackbeard's Hand of Darkness. So it was all 3 different props in one go, and I never really do anime-based stuff, so it was something new in my wheelhouse. Mm-hmm. And then this one is also anime related. It's from Dragon Ball. Goku Black's sickle. It's like a Grim Reaper scythe, but it's made from energy that looks purplish pink. So
I mean, I know the properties you're naming, but I don't.
Yeah, I'm not familiar either. Are these just raw prints, Josh, or are these like a finished prop that they're getting in their hands, like everything?
Oh no, it's a finished prop. Yeah,
do you ship to Canada? Because we might be having some conversations, you and I.
We could talk about it.
Yeah. Okay. Good. We are going to talk about it. We're following each other now. We're going to talk about
it. Yeah.
We like to say on JS, I have more money than time. I don't have the time to dedicate to making stuff anymore. JS always gives me grief for this because he's a builder and I'm not. I'm a buyer. So It sounds like you've got the time, and Lord fucking knows you have the talent. So yeah, I may have to hit you up for a couple pieces when your commissions are open anyway. Obviously.
Just feel free to message me and we can definitely talk.
Sweet. We'll definitely do so. Absolutely.
There's another question from Instagram here.
Sure.
Producer Jen can bring it up. There we go. How do you make such amazing things? Who is your inspiration?
Raw fucking talent. You just tell him that, Josh. Raw fucking talent. No,
Yeah,
sorry,
raw fucking talent.
That's right, baby.
So honestly, it does take a lot of inspiration to do. Like I do love building things, but also it's people that inspire me. Like my mother that you just went and saw a few minutes ago. Yeah, she's one of my inspirations, and then my friends inspire me, and also other artists do within Instagram and out there in the field. And as I'm building, I watch like Adam Savage's tested as I'm building, just see what he builds next, or does interviews or whatever. And ironically, I actually done an interview of Adam Savage back in 2021.
Nice.
And that was really cool experience. And but yeah, like yep, there you go. I really enjoy doing what I do, and it just gives me satisfaction, but people definitely do inspire me as I go.
It's not the only time you've met Adam Savage.
So that was the second time that I actually did like a one-on-one with him practically. But before that, I went to C2E2 back in 2021. I'm not 2021, 2020 before COVID hit. And I took a picture with him in my Gears of War armor.
Nice.
Ah, yes.
Nice,
yeah,
nice.
that was the very first time I met him. But that time was for free.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's one of us, man. That's the best thing about Adam is he is such into the nerd stuff and the geek stuff. I've never had the opportunity to meet him, but everybody that I know that's met him is like, yeah, he's one of us. Like, there's no question.
He's a real awesome guy.
Yeah.
He's a real awesome guy.
Yeah.
Down to earth. You can have a deep conversation with him. And like, I would love to go to the convention that he developed in California.
Yeah. What's it called again? Silicon. Yes. Yeah, I would love to be able to go to that. That would be amazing. I mean, that's like, yeah, that would be awesome. And you know, I love how he does his incognitos, where he'll prep a cosplay or build a cosplay for a con, and then we'll actually hit the con floor in this big cosplay without anybody knowing that it's him. That's wicked. I mean, everybody ends up finding out. Hey, are you Adam Savage? Yeah. Don't tell anybody.
Like, oh my god, like I always try to, like, almost every time that he tried to do them, like I always try to search for him, but it kind of looks like I'm being stalkerish in a way. But I'm like, I go up to random people. Are you Adam Savage? No. I'm like, oh, okay, sorry. Enjoy your con. Are you? No. Okay.
Yeah, I was hoping to meet him in Fan Expo Limited. He was there in Toronto. He had a panel and the whole deal. And that, we weren't able to find him. We weren't able to bump into him. So that's the only time I've been in a con that he was at. So, oh well.
Yeah.
Jen has another question here. Let's see. What build seems out of reach or not doable? I mean, there's got to be that big dream build that in your mind is like, yeah, you know what? That's too intimidating. That's too much. Or
have you seen the shit this brother's been wearing? What the hell's out of this dude's reach? There's no way. Sorry, Josh. It's
all good. I appreciate it. I do appreciate it. Yeah, like, honestly, like I do have a lot of builds in mind. I don't necessarily have much of like a dream build, like, in that sense. Like I like to do builds as I go that inspire me, and then I know I could pull off. But that one big dream, that one big build, like I've done a Jaeger before, so I've done a big mech before. So I honestly I don't really know, to be honest with you. Like, I do have two builds in mind that are platform related that boost my height up about a foot taller.
Nice.
How tall are you now already?
I'm 6'3".
Oh wow! So you're like 7.5 foot tall. Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
And then when, especially with the helmet on, depending on how big it is and how tall it is, it can boost the costume in general up to like 8 feet.
Damn.
So
yeah.
Can we talk about your shredder for a minute?
Absolutely.
And Jen, oh well, there you go. She was already bringing it up. It looks like. I'm a big shredder fan. I was never even a big turtle fan, but I'm a big shredder fan, and it feels like everybody that's getting to the cosplay does a shredder at one point, and I haven't done one yet. When did you do this one? This is an older costume, isn't it?
Yeah, this was the second version of Shredder I've done in my whole cosplay career. This was from 2019. So for Shredder, for me, I built my very first armor cosplay in general was Shredder, and that was back in 2017. And it wasn't this one; it was just an older version. This version I did in 2019 for a con in Brooklyn, Brooklyn's first Comic Con, and we were invited for it. And I was talking to one of my buddies. He was like, "We should go in our first builds that we've done." And I'm like, "I can't fit in mine anymore." I'm like, I can't fit in my old Shredder cosplay. I'm like, you know what? Give me a few days. I didn't talk to him for like 4 days after that. And I go to his house and he's like, "What's that?" I'm like, "It's Shredder." He's like, "You built Shredder?" I'm like, "Yeah."
In 4 days.
Yeah, that one took me 4 days before the con.
I mean,
goddamn ridiculous.
4 days, 4 days.
Josh, you said you use an airbrush for paint, yeah?
So for my base color paint, I use Rust-Oleum spray paint.
Okay.
But for my shadowing and highlights and stuff like that, I use my airbrush.
The detail work, all the yeah, okay, that makes sense. Yeah,
because spray paint is just a lot faster. When it comes to
for sure it is.
Yeah,
sure
yeah.
It's just so funny. Like, it would take me 4 days to paint that, and you built it all and had it painted in 4 days.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like a lot of people are like, "How did you get the different tones of red?" I'm like, "It's the same red. I just dusted black spray paint on it to give it the double tone, or to give it the dirt look."
Yeah. Bananas.
4 days.
4 days. That's what I'm saying. Like, why do I try? I'm not. You wonder why I don't build shit anymore? This is why I don't build shit anymore, because I couldn't do that in 4 months. This brother's knocking this off in 4 days. What the hell, man?
Yeah, well,
Not
I can't
that
wait
it's a
to
competition, but holy shit, I feel emasculated right now. 4 days. What's going on?
If you did that in 4 days, I can't wait to see what your Savatar is gonna look like when your element alone took 9 days just to print.
Yeah, like Savitar is like, I've been like on my Instagram stories, I've been sharing like TikTok videos of like Savitar clips from the show, just so people can just also don't forget that I'm building him, because I did hold off for a bit for commissions, but I'm starting to get back into him. So I'm as I'm building him, I post the progress pictures on my stories. So if you guys are interested and will want to see more progress of my builds, follow me on Instagram and you'll definitely see the progress on my stories.
Victoria's saying, "I tip my hat to you, sir."
Much appreciated.
We've got Kid on.
Steve's also very excited about the height editions. Our friend Stephen Jones is a Groot in London, and he also has some hand-built stilts that he clumps around in. So he's very excited for anybody that's increasing their height in any of their cosplays.
Yeah, my platforms, they're also homemade platforms. They're made out of wood and
his too.
Yeah. Like mine boosts me up about a foot higher than I am. Because it just feels more sturdier and has a wider base compared to like the painter stilts.
Yeah,
because painter stilts, like, you could easily break an ankle with those. If you're
you need to know what you're doing to wear those.
I've judged some competitions and I've seen people coming in with drywall stilts or painter stilts, and everything just looks so fucking precarious, like they could just tip over at any moment. So like
you can't roll your ankle, you can't, like, you have to like do the heel toe method and everything. Oh, not the heel toe method, the high knee method on walking, and it's a lot of practice, but Power to them who are using those.
Oh no, yeah, there's no shame. I just it always looks a lot more precarious than like with you and with my buddy Steven there, with the stilts that you guys make. You can tell you guys are just literally just you can hear him in his group coming from like a mile away. You can hear him clomping his way down, and it's fantastic, and it really adds overall to the character too, as far as the role playing aspect of it goes. It really lends itself to that, as opposed to looking like a newborn gazelle on your drywall stilts, where you're just trying to like a baby fawn learning to walk, right? You don't want to do that. You want to be large and intimidating, and that's why you're increasing your height in the first place, right? So but Steve's saying he's 6'3", and in Groot he's 8'1", and he uses large base stilts, so he builds his own stilts as well. So I applaud you guys for taking that on and not taking the easy route by using the painter stilts or the drywall stilts for sure.
Yeah.
Hey,
yes, that's
I know that guy.
You know?
Hey, we actually have something in common. Yours is just way better than mine. I do it. Well, when Deadpool 2 came out and Josh Brolin was up on the screen, I got like over 100 messages from my followers saying like, "You're gonna do this, right? Like, you look just like him. You have to do this." So I do the low rent Deadpool 2 version of him. I don't do any. There's no armor. I've got a foam arm on it, but there's no armor pieces or anything like that. But holy shit, man, that's dope. Is that like an original concept for you? Like, did you just take pieces, or is that from a specific comic?
It looks like the action figure from like the 90s, isn't it?
So with this one, this is actually the first cosplay that I didn't build. I bought.
Nice.
There's a guy in Texas. His name I think is Titan FX something like that. I'll send it to the Geeks and Co. Instagram when I find it. Yep. He's a great artist. I fell in love with his cable when I first saw it, and one year he was like, "Hey, I'm selling some of my cosplays to make room for my shop," and then one of them was his cable, and I'm like, "How much?"
Sure. Yeah, of course.
Yeah, I'm like, "How much?" And he was selling. Well, he included the armor, not the arm. That arm I built myself.
Nice.
But the armor itself, for the chest, the legs, even the pants, and the undershirt underneath. In the props, he included all of that within the price, and it was a cheap price too.
Good for you.
It was really worth it, and I was
appreciative.
And I got in the mail, and then I just had to really build the arm and get tactical boots, and it was gone. It was done.
Did he say where his inspiration for that was? Like, was it his sort of own take on it, or was it based on a specific iteration?
It was his own take on it.
Yeah, because it looks like it. Because I do cable as well. I've seen it a ton. Like, I follow like hashtag cable costs. So I've seen a ton of them, but I haven't seen that exact layout before. So
yeah. No, his is an original, and it looked great, especially when he was wearing it. And I'm like,
dude, it looks dope on you, man. That's awesome.
Yeah, no, thanks. And
the speeder bike.
The speeder bike, my friend Angel, he built that himself. That's an electric motorized bike, and he modified it, and so it actually rides.
That's awesome.
I could see the mirror on the bottom. That's obviously hiding the wheel.
My god! In some pictures that he takes, especially because he also cosplays Mando, and it's a really good Mando. Yeah. And so he actually goes around on the streets and rides it with his Mando.
Hell yeah, he does.
On. And he with some angles when he was taking pictures of it, like you can't even tell there's mirrors there. It looks that good.
It looks legit. Yeah.
And then I tell him, I'm like, I'm getting like a cosgasm every time I see that picture. Like he's a great artist.
Yeah, that's pretty wicked. Another one that I really and I want you to explain this to me, because I feel like you said something earlier and it clued me in a little bit. And Jen, if you want to bring that picture up, is your cyberpunk. Now, do I understand correctly? The mask is a bot mask, and then you added the cyberpunk pieces to it?
No, that mask came like that.
It did, really?
Yeah. So
wow, that's amazing.
that mask I got from a company called Immortal Mask in San Dimas, California. They do Hollywood grade silicone masks, and they are not cheap, but they're very good quality. And I've been following specific this specific design for since it was actually when they were sculpting it. And once I saw they finished it, I'm like, I'm gonna get myself a copy. So I actually have it behind me if you want to take a closer look.
Yeah, look at that. That's crazy. And I love how you can really see the expression in your face through the mask because, like, I mean, part of it is your face, right? Like the eye is your eye, and the mouth, the bottom part of the mouth is your mouth, right?
Yeah, so basically the way that a silicone mask works, because even in Atrocitus, I'm wearing a silicone mask. So basically a silicone mask works like a sock on your foot. So you stretch it out, you put your head in, and then you let go, and it snaps to your face. And so your facial mechanics actually operate the mouth. Your mouth can open. You can actually do some eyebrow movement, especially if there's already built-in eyebrow movement in the sculpt. You can see parts raise. You can do a bunch of stuff with silicone masks, but they also replicate the feeling of skin. So
that's dope.
Because I've seen people putting like Prosade or something underneath where they want the mask to have the most movement, so that as those pieces are sticking to you, like you said, like your cheekbones, your mouth, and in particular your eyebrows, where as you're moving, the mask is really moving with you. Now, I imagine getting the Prosade and the silicone off at that point is probably a giant pain in the ass, but.
Yeah. I don't use Prosade. I just slip it on, and then it just works. Because with silicone, because it's not breathable, you're going to sweat no matter what.
No, 100%.
Yeah. So when you sweat, the sweat actually gets the mask tighter to your face.
Right.
And then your facial mechanics operated a lot better.
Yeah, sweet.
Joshua, I mean, well, first of all, we've been on for over an hour now, so we're going to have to start winding this down. But it sounded earlier like you were saying that your commissions are now opened up, basically, and you're open to taking some commission work. Is that what I understood earlier?
Yes, I do take on commissions, and I'm currently open for commission work.
So if people want to get in touch with you, start pitching you ideas of stuff that they might want, and start talking designs and stuff like that, how do they get a hold of you? And you know, what would you need from them? Like, let people know what they need to do here.
Yeah, so you can just go on Instagram and type in CJPropStudio on there. You just send me a DM and ask and just say like, hey, I would love to get something commissioned made by you, and then we'll talk more into it and about what it is, what's your deadline, and also like what's your budget, because I like to work around people's budgets to make it more fair.
Yeah, that's always important, right? I know we've talked about this before in cosplay making shows, but people usually don't understand the cost of your time.
Yeah,
right? They want you to build something, but it's only foam. Yeah, but it took me like 6 months to build. Like, of course it's going to cost you X, right? So
yeah, of course,
having a budget up front is important for sure.
Yeah, exactly. So like to plan towards the future of it, and always have a budget, and also always know the deadline, so at least you can manage the time on building it. So always feel free to send me a DM, and we'll talk more about your commission that you would like to do.
Is Instagram your main social media, the main place people can contact you? Instagram is where it's at.
Instagram is my main hub for the commissioning. I also have a makers page on a site called cosmosi.com, which is a online cosplay marketplace for custom commissions. So if you ever stumble upon that page and you see my name on there, feel free to message me over there. I'll get a ping on my email, or you can always find me on Instagram, and we can always talk shop about what you would like to get done.
Sweet.
Excellent. Any cons coming up that you're going to be at? Where can people see you?
Currently, there's not many cons right now in Jersey. Well, my next con I'm probably going to go to is Garden State Comic Fest in Morristown, New Jersey in June.
What did you call it?
Garden State Comic Fest.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, in Morristown, New Jersey. I think I'll be a guest there, but also I have to talk to him about that. But most likely be a cosplay guest there. And later in the year, I'm gonna be at New York Comic Con all 4 days, and you can see me in Cosplay Central with my crew, the Paladins of Cosplay, and we will help you repair your cosplays.
I was gonna bring that up, but I wanted to talk about that, and it seems to always happen here. We get talking, and then we rant off, and then we never get to everything, and Jeff, what about you? I mean, Comic-Con is coming so fast.
So we have March Toronto Comic-Con coming up. The weekend after that, I have an event here on the 25th, March 25th, here in London at Cherry Hill Village Mall. We're going to be out there from 12 until 3. I'm going to be out there as Captain America, so come on out and see us there if you're in the London area. CK Expo at the end of April 29th for CK Expo. I'm going to be hosting the cosplay contest for that one, so I'll be the MC for that. And then that's going to lead us right into Niagara Falls Comic Con.
May the 4th.
In June. Oh, sorry, May the 4th. Yeah, sorry. Yes, May the 4th. Yes, May the 4th at London Brewing Co-op.
Yeah.
Geeks & Co. will be there in force. I've already started to put some words out. There may, in fact, even be a custom beer and custom label with the Geeks & Co. label on it.
You're spilling beans. You're spilling beans.
I'm not just saying. May the 4th. Yes, thank you, JS. And then, of course, on May the 6th, we'll also be going out for Free Comic Book Day. So, yeah, lots and lots and lots of stuff coming up as far as that goes here in the Southwestern Ontario area.
Are we doing Shock Stock on the Sunday as well?
Probably. I mean, if you guys are still going to be here, I don't see any reason why we wouldn't.
Yeah, so, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
That's a long time for you guys to be away from home Thursday to Sunday, but we'll see.
Exactly. We'll have to figure that out. But that's a lot of stuff coming up for us in the next couple of weeks. Content-wise, there's a bunch of content coming out, guys. Like we were saying at the top of the show, there's the after show. We've got
twice weekly,
twice a week now. We've got the Picard after show, and we've got the Mando after show. The Picard after show has been coming out now for the last couple of weeks.
Yep.
Episode 3 was out today, so the after show should be out tomorrow. And then the Mando after show for yesterday's episode came out this evening. Woo. So once you're done watching this, if you still got some free time and you still want to see these old geezers yapping about nerdy stuff, go check out the after show. It's a good time.
Hell yeah.
Joshua, dude, thanks for coming on, man.
Yeah.
I know we've never actually physically met, but nice to actually chat with you again.
Yeah, absolutely. It was an honor to having me. It was a great experience, and I love chatting with you guys, talking to shop and all everything geek. So
we'll have to have you back, Josh. We'll
talk again.
Yeah, we'll definitely have to have you back on.
Sounds like we'll be talking some more.
Yeah. Especially as your con season gets closer, like when you start getting closer, I would love to start picking your brain, your version of Con Crunch and what's that looks like. There's so much more that we can talk about when we get there. So you gotta have you back on for sure. Yeah.
Oh, definitely. I love that. Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome.
Excellent. Well, guys, once again, if you're not subscribed to the channel,
what are you doing?
Like, it costs you absolutely nothing. It really helps us out. Click the subscribe button. While you're at it, click the like button because it lets us know you like to watch this show. And if you click the notification bell, it'll always let you know when we're going live. I think that's going to be it for this week, though.
Heck yeah.
Yeah. Make sure you stay geeky. We'll see you next week. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Geek Boutique Podcast. Like always, if you prefer to listen to us, you can find us on all major podcast platforms. Now, make sure you don't forget to click that like and subscribe button, as well as the notification bell to make sure you never miss an episode.